Hello everyone, my name is Thomas. I'm one of the mod authors for TK Interface Overhaul, the other one being Kincaid, and I just wanted to record a small demonstration of how the mod works. So, TK Interface Overhaul is a completely new mod made from scratch, but of course taking inspiration on already existing mods. So for example, we are trying to apply features that may be present on SkyUI, which is a PC mod. But we are also kind of imitating, at some degree, the look of this very old mod called QD Inventory Overhaul. We feel like SkyUI's look is too, text is small, everything is compressed, which is really nice when you have the monitor like 1 meter away from you. But when you're sitting far away from the monitor or television, because this is an xBox exclusive mod, then it becomes harder to read or to see which item you actually have selected or whatever you're doing. It's harder, basically. So we wanted to make it console friendly in a couple of few ways. One, the size of the things. Everything should be at least as big as the vanilla elements, or if possible, bigger. So it's easier to see and read from a distance. The other thing that we wanted to do is to make the menus more controller friendly, which usually the vanilla ones are. So we have that as a base. We most of the things we didn't change, but at the same time, if we want to add functionality to it, we need to use more buttons, and those buttons have to be fully controller friendly, mostly because it is an Xbox exclusive mod. This is not made for PC. It has not been uploaded anywhere where PC players can actually download the mod. So it is Xbox exclusive, or console exclusive actually. And okay, let's just start. So first thing you can see is the main menu is completely different than the original. There's a few things that we still need to change. We want to add the TK logo somewhere. I'm guessing I'll write in the Bethesda one. But we don't actually have a logo yet, so we don't know what we are going to put there. But other than that, we just basically rearranged things. So they use the entirety of the screen a lot better. In this case, we maintained the buttons basically on the right side as the original one. We made them static. Instead of the words moving, you move the selector and the words are static. They're just always in the same position. That's one of the main difference this menu has. And everything that opens, instead of opening on top of the buttons on the right side as the vanilla one does, we put everything on the left side, so we can use more of the screen. See, the new load, everything opens up on the left side now. That's basically it. Again, we are rearranging things so they look better and they are easier to look at and to read. Now, one of the things that TK doesn't modify and may never modify is the heads-up display. What you see when you don't have any menu open, like the health, magic, and stamina bars, the compass up there, the notification, all that, TK is never going to actually modify. We already have a mod for that. It's called Taylor SWF, made by Firewall, that already addresses and actually is a full framework with a lot of possibilities that we haven't explored yet. The mod is still being developed, so we still don't have access to the source files to start implementing around things. So you can add widgets and modify any and all the elements that you see on the screen using that framework. But again, the framework is still being developed, even if it has been uploaded for people to use. It is still a work in progress, and we are patiently, not so much, waiting for the source files to be released so we can start creating new elements that you can put on your screen. Of course, everything is optional, and in that mod you have a menu that when you open it, you have a bunch of options. You can change basically whatever you want. Now, TK focuses more on the actual menu. So when you open a menu, when the game pauses and there's menu open that you can interact with, not just information on your screen. Oh. Now, what we're doing right now is we're separating all the graphical parts from the different menus into a separate file. That way, the skins that we are creating that modify the look of TK can overwrite those graphic only files instead of modifying the full menu file, which contains the code and the implementations that we intend to change in the main TK mod. So that's why it's taking a while. We're also just learning about how all this works. We have implemented a lot of things that didn't work, so we lost a lot of time in there. But again, we are just learning this. It's not the same way that normal mods are made. The UIs have their own way of being modified, which is completely different from any other type of mod. Now, one of the first things that we added is here in the map. As you can see, there is not much, but we are working on new additions and thinking what would be useful without just adding features just because. It has to be something useful for the console player to have on each particular menu. So one of the things that we added for now was like a housing for the text that tells you where you are. This is just on the local map, so when you press X and you open the local map, you can see that there is a small housing there. This was made basically as test to see what we could accomplish and how, because each menu file works completely independent of the others, but at the same time they can communicate. It's weird. It's a weird kind of framework thing that Bethesda created, and we are just trying to modify it so we can benefit of different mechanics being added or features being added to the different menus. So that's the only thing that we have added right now. What the other thing that we want to do with the map is to separate the icons, right, of each location into a different file. That way, one would be able to use mods that modify the colors of the map markers without actually touching the rest of the UI. So you can have your whatever skin you want, whatever graphical look you want to give to that menu using one of the TK skins, but at the same time you can choose in a separate way as an add-on colored map, colored map markers, or I think there's one that makes them like sepia or something, or beige. But yeah, you can choose which small add-on you implement on your game without it messing with the rest of the choices that you made, like the graphical part, like the skin, like I don't know, the whatever features you want active. So it would only change that specific thing that you wanted. Now let's continue with well, the sleep menu. We haven't modified this one yet. As you can see, we made it skin compatible by separating the graphics, but we haven't added any mechanics, any features on it yet. Then we have Okay, we can go now to the inventory menu. So the inventory menu is the one that you're going to be to see more different than any other of the menus. This is because we want to add as much information as possible and use as much of the screen as possible to show it. Right, because mods like SkyUI for PC are fine, they're compact, but they are not easy to read because everything is smaller to fit that more compact uh, frame thing, drawer thing. So we are imitating QD inventory, which has a big drawer and the words are bigger. In this case, they are the same size as they are in the vanilla game. So it shouldn't, at least it shouldn't be harder to read. It should at least be as hard to read as the vanilla game. That is our objective. If we cannot improve something, at least we should maintain what it already is. Shouldn't be worse. So that is our main concern with when we try to add more features or more information on the screen. It can never be worse than the vanilla game. If we cannot improve it, we should at least maintain it. The navigation of this menu is pretty similar as you would expect from the vanilla menu. Up and down, you browse the different items. Now, left and right, skip 4 items. So it goes to the 5th item. Right, so see, it goes directly 5 items below or above the one that you have selected. This is just for easy, for faster browsing of the menu, because people were complaining that the menu is slow, and yes, it is a lot slower than the vanilla one. That is because it has to retrieve all this information that you see here, which usually the vanilla game only shows you the information of one item at a time, and that is displayed on the right side of the screen on the card thingy. That is the information that we're showing in the list. It's nothing new, really. We're just, putting the information of all the items instead of just one. But yeah, for a faster browsing, you can go with left and right on the D-pad. Now, for the category on the top, we opted to use the RB and LB buttons for the right and left. That's basically it. The changes are mostly visual. Again, we're not adding anything just yet. Everything that you're seeing, the vanilla game can retrieve this information somehow, and it does display it somewhere. We're just putting it here so it can be easily seen at a glance. Another thing that we've added are icons. Note that where are the misc items? Where are the weapons? Oh, weapons. As you can see, for the enchanted weapons, we have this blue star icon. Let's take a few. Let's take a few armors. I don't know, whatever. Let's go back. As you can see, the enchanted ones appear with a symbol. If I go directly to weapons, there they are. Let's equip one. And let's try to apply poison on one of the weapons. Let's find poison, should be here. So I have the bow equipped. Now I'm going to poison. I apply the poison as normal. And as you can see, the weapon now has the poisoned icon. Now, how both work is that you shoot, and it doesn't matter if you hit something, the poison goes away. So we shoot, and we go to the menu. It doesn't have the poison icon anymore because it's not poisoned. Recognize it automatically. See, I select something else, apply poison. There it is. It doesn't even need to be enchanted. Let's get this iron sword. Apply the poison. As you can see, all these 3 items have the icon, and as you can see on the right side on the card, the poison icon also appears in there. Again, we're just redistributing the information, but it already exists actually in the main game. There is also a stolen icon. I don't think anything in here I can take that is considered stolen, so I can show it. But there is a stolen icon for all the items. Now, if we go to the magic menu, we already added some icons that identify the school at which these spells belong. We are also showing the level and the cost at a glance. You can see it right there. There's not much about this menu. It's basically the same thing as the inventory, but with magic. Now, in the active effects tab, as you can see, they don't have icons yet. The active effects do not have icons right now. We do want to make ones, but we're not sure what style we want to use. How are we going to create the icons so you can recognize what type of thing it is, if it is a buff, debuff, or whatever. So we have to think a lot in order to create them, and then we have to actually make them, because everything you see here is either modified from the vanilla game or made from scratch. Yes, even these icons. And you can see the remaining time. So in this particular case, this spell doesn't have a limited time, so it doesn't show it because it's infinite. It's something that comes with the race, and it's never going away unless forcibly removed, but not it doesn't actually have a timer. And I don't have an maybe battle cry. Does that have a duration? Let me see. No, that's not something that appears in there. Oh, target sleep for 30 seconds. Yes, not going to appear in here. Okay, never mind. But yeah, if I would have a buff with limited duration, it will show the time in seconds on this list. Then we have, let me go back and select the config power. So this is the SWF. Config power, of course, doesn't come from TK, it comes from Simple Background Framework. And this is another one of the menus that we've modified. These are the menus that the vanilla game shows you when you have to pick an option, yes, no, or whatever, and that the mods use as a way to allow the player to configure their own mods. And SWF has its own menu. And these are a few of the things that we've added. You may have seen this because, it's been a while since we created this. We modified this one specifically, not on TK, but they had their separate files. So it's not like it does this color thingy to any menu. When one creates the menu, that menu has to depend on SWF to be able to use all these new features. It doesn't have to depend on TK. It has to depend on Simple Workaround Framework, because there is where the compatibility side is managed. So what it does is, this menu is now able to identify text as a title, and put it outside of the menu in its own housing. And it's also identify when you want to make specific parts of the text have a color. And we also added the possibility of showing some specific words dynamically, which before it was basically impossible. So in this case, you see that in the first line it says disabled at the end because the option is disabled, but before, the only way to show if something was enabled or disabled was showing a 0 for disable and a 1 for enable. So this particular menu could only show numbers dynamically, but not words. We changed that, and now you can use enable disable. As you can see, I pressed the button and went to enable automatically, and disable, enable disable, enable disable. You can still show numbers because that's the vanilla functionality. We didn't modify that. But also you can use words. Another feature is that if you have a word that means something like back, exit, I think we use return, or confirmation buttons like yes, like accept, like confirm. If you press the B button, it goes automatically there. So if you have like this, in here you have 4 options, so you would have to manually go to the button that you want. In this case, you can just press B and it's going to automatically select the exit one. And and the last menu is the skills menu. Now we changed quite a lot. We are still playing with this one and rearranging the things. Again, we only modify the positions of the information, but it is it is the same information that you already see on these menus. Now all the player information is on the bottom, while before it was separate between the parts of it were in the top and some parts were on the bottom. We made it everything be in the bottom, and we raised the the skill names and the skill bars to the top. I think it is easier to navigate this way. I'm not sure, maybe it's just me, but I think it is a lot easier to navigate in this menu by having them on the top. When you we also have that icon on the bottom left. As you can see, it's a dragon. That icon was taken from Elder Scrolls Online, and they have this badge thing for each race. Each race has its own. So if I go away and I do show race menu, so and I go I don't know, Dark Elf, whatever name, and I go back to the skills menu, as you can see, the Dark Elf has its own specific icon thing. And, you know, each race has one. And we can technically add more of this for mod added races. We haven't done it yet, but if someone asks us to create a medal or a symbol for mod added races, we can. And TK doesn't need to depend on that mod in any way. It's just going to contain the resource, and if you happen to be using that one and your character happens to be that race, you're just going to show the new icon. So that's cool. Then it has a small animation. I was playing with it to see what I could animate. I'm not well versed on any graphical things. I don't have graphical skills, images, animations, everything that's related to that. I don't work well with that, actually. So yeah, I'm struggling with this mod a lot, but it also has a lot of coding parts. So, and that's where I would say shine, but I don't think I don't know if I actually shine on it. It's just I'm better, a little bit better on it. But yeah, again, for now we're just rearranging the menus so they are more pleasing to the eye and the information can be read without nonsense on the screen. And the menus are more compact, but at the same time the same size. We're just grouping the things together, not making them actually smaller. Instead of being all over the place, now you have everything on one place. I can just look at it and you have all the information there. But yeah, so basically this is TK interface overhaul. We hope you're enjoying the mod. If you downloaded it, if you haven't yet and you want to try it, what you need is simple workaround framework installed on your loader on Xbox, and you need, well, at least the main TK interface overhaul mod. Those are the only requirements. You can install and uninstall this mod while having a saved game, and you can keep playing on that save. UI mods are one of the few things that you can uninstall mid-game. Is one of the very, very, very few exceptions to the rule. At least for now. And this doesn't apply to all the UI mods because they may contain more things that are not specifically UI related. So TK is only UI. That's why it can be uninstalled. I hope that was clear. Okay, guys, I think this would be all. I hope you enjoyed this showcase. I hope I explained enough each part. I hope I didn't forget anything. We have a lot of ideas of new features. We do not know if they can be implemented or not. So we're going to be playing a lot with this, see what we can achieve. I'm going to be creating now a few more videos that are going to showcase the skins specifically, so we're not going to have all these explanations, just going to be one long video where I'm going to put all the skins side by side and you're going to be able to watch all of them. But hopefully I was able to explain the main mod to the best of my ability. I'm sorry for my English. I'm from Argentina. I'm not an English speaker. So I'm really, really sorry you had to go through this. Any questions, please let us know, be it in the comments or you can go to our Discord. I'm going to leave all the links on the description so you can reach us to ask us anything or to report a bug if you find one. There's a few things that we know that are not working correctly, but the mod is functional. Usually these are visual glitches or navigation issues that by closing the menu and opening it again, you can keep using it. So yeah, it's still in beta. We are still working on it. Thanks for watching, and again, any question, any bugs, anything at all, let us know. Thank you.